have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
You've completely, like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the celebrations for Spurs 5 this evening. No relegation, celebration times, although the inquest and the inquiry starts right here. Tottenham stay up. Another crack at the cherry next season is ours. West Ham go down on the final day. An unbelievable turn of events, an unbelievable last 2 months of the season under Roberto De Zerbi. We're here to chew it through with you all. Welcome back. It's good to see you. I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love. Please do, guys, smash the like button for us if you don't mind. Really important to do it straight out of the traps. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the march to whatever we are on the march towards. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. And make sure they're nice and friendly. Although you can have a little crack at, certain ideas that have kind of fallen by the wayside over the last coming for you. We're coming for you all tonight. Guys, we are, of course, sponsored by OK Jersey. Code 15, or code 515, sorry, FIVE15 gets you unbelievably 15% off. It's the best deal amongst all of the deals that are out there. 515 is up there with the greatest, the best prices in town, the best quality, the best unbelievable ratio of that value proposition, but an extra 15% off if you go there. You can go and find next season's. You can go and find this season's. You can go and find the last 25, 30 years of kits, if that's what you're interested in, retro stuff. They've got the coolest training gear in and clobber in the game. They have all of your international team kits as well. Code 515 for 15% off at OK Jersey. Big up to them for the sponsorship. Big up to you for your attention. And lastly, before I find out how the lads are doing, we are, of course, also available on all of your podcast platforms. So if that's your thing, if you'd rather watch us back later, but you're out with your wife, then you can do so on Spotify. If you want to hear us back, you can listen to us back on Amazon and Apple Pods and all that jazz. Wherever you go for your podcast, please give us a rating, a follow, and a review. And you can find us either by waiting for the Stream Elements link to come down the side panel, or you will just type in Spurs 5 on your nearest podcast platform, and you should find us no problem. It's good to see everybody piling in. I think that's partly because of Sava doing a redirect. Big up to Sava for that as well. Lubo, how are you, mate?
All good. All good. This a lovely weekend. What gorgeous weather. Good evening, everybody listening and everyone in the chat. It's been pretty hot. I sort of stayed indoors this afternoon. I was looking for football therapists based in Paphos, but couldn't actually find anybody because I'm a little bit concerned about Stel, because obviously relegation has gone down the pan. But I'm sure if I keep looking, I'll find. Obviously concerned for a friend. We're staying up just as my Arsenal cousin texted me 5 minutes after the final whistle. It's not a celebration to be fourth worst team in the Premier League, which he got spot on, but relieved nonetheless. So very happy with yesterday's results. We live to fight another day, and hopefully De Zerbi will knock some heads together, get the players he wants, and we start playing some proper football for the first time in a few years.
Yeah, not a celebration, more like a relief party. You
Absolutely.
know, Absolutely. Like if you've been promiscuous and you go down the clinic and you get the check, and all you got is a dose of something that can be cleared up with a little bit of a little tablet or two, rather than the big bad one. He's not celebrating, but you're happier than you otherwise could be. So I think that's the But the inquest starts here. That was a really horrible, toxic analogy to use, but I feel like it kind of rings true. If you've been there, you'll know. Johnny, how are you, mate? Good to see you. You okay?
Yeah, hi to everyone in the chat, and just remember, pump it up. The years are staying up. Yeah, that's all you need to know. No party, no De Zerbi, no party. That's all we know for sure. Thomas De Zerbi, I know what a faux pas that is. Roberto De Zerbi, I mean, I don't have any words that he managed to turn this absolute sunken ship around. It was listing so badly, Sean, listing so badly. Even the captain jumped ship. They gave up hope. But he jumped on board and said, I'm not having any negativity. I can steer this ship back to dock and save you all. And that's exactly what he did. And I don't want to ever have to go through that final 10 minutes again. I wasn't even bothered when we were in Bilbao in those last few minutes. I was always confident in Bilbao. Don't ask me why. Maybe it was a misplaced belief that we were going to win somehow. But I just felt like Dr. Tottenham has visited this club so many times and put us on life support. I was worried that they could read us the last rites, but thankfully they didn't. And I'm going to enjoy every moment of yesterday and what's left of today. And tonight the inquest begins on this show as to how the fuck we ever got into this situation. I think we all know who's really responsible and what's really responsible, but we'll save that for a bit later on. But big up to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. And don't forget our sponsor, OK Jersey, 515. Next year's clobber. Very good.
Yeah, next year's clobber today. So Alex Jones at InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
Tomorrow's news today.
Well, how are you, my man? Good to see you, buddy. I mean, listen, there's no celebration over in your part of the world, but how sad are you? How sorry are you? How sad are you for the fact that Tottenham stayed up?
Gutted, man. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. We honestly, this was our one big chance to finally end ENIC, and they're here. They're not going anywhere, and we're going to repeat the doom loop again. Already they're putting out statements. Not even Vinay, the comms guy, the so-called fan engagement expert, he doesn't even put the statement out. It's Charrington. Out of nowhere, Charrington comes out. So, yeah, we're going to get what we deserve now, and we're going to have a nice upwards trend, and then we'll hit that brick wall, and we'll be back here again. So, gutted, man. Actually gutted.
Yeah.
Need a new story. He needs a new story still, right, Sean? He needs a new story. So now Stelligation doesn't happen. Now it's in the distance. We're going to hit the wall. What sort of time frame, Stell, are you giving for this wall hit? Just so we know, so we can give us what are you giving?
When we get back to top 4 and we need to change our behaviour to go that extra mile.
Oh, so we're getting to top 4?
Eventually, yeah.
All right, okay.
Well, that's the thing. That's
going to be success and glory for 99% of our fans. So,
well, I'll take it after this.
This is interesting, though, right? So this is what I was saying at the time when you first came out with the Stelligation thing. Actually, I think it was me that branded it, but I think you want it because it kind of draws a line under the conversation regarding are ENIC, horrendous, awful, or is this just a blip, a moment in time? Because if Tottenham get through this situation, next season finish 8th, season after get back to 4th, 3rd again, then get back to where we were, whether that's 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st, or anywhere in between. Like in 5 years' time, people will just remember this as a blip, right? It was a 2-year blip on the radar, just like people will remember the Europa League as a blip on the radar, a successful trophy in a terrible year, whatever else. But if we had have gone down, the conversation's finito, right? It's closed. Like ENIC would have been the worst owners since the late 70s at Tottenham Hotspur, and it hasn't happened. It doesn't mean that it won't happen next season. Let's hope it does. We might be back here again. But the fact that had we gone down still, I still don't really understand the logic that you ever put forward, which is that you've always felt these owners are incompetent, and that had we gone down, then that would it would force them into better decision making. Where in my mind, competence isn't something that you can just switch on or off. It's not like effort. Competence is a skill set. You either have it or you don't. You can't turn it on and turn it off. And being put in a more difficult position doesn't necessarily mean that people will become better at their jobs under more scrutiny and more strain and stress of resources. No,
they're driven by financial distress. We've never once finished top 4 and acted competently on that and struck when the iron is hot. It's when we drop out of Europe that they spend big, because financial distress is what drives them. Just like spending £60 million on a manager because they could see that they were going to lose £300 million from relegation. They found 60 million for a manager they could have signed before. So only financial distress will force the hand of Enoch. That's the whole point of what I was saying. So now they're going to get away with it. They're going to get that money sooner or later, whether it's this year, next year, the year after. And happy days, Enoch, get what they want, and we live in hope. Like,
do you think though? Like, because we're going to come to it first. We are going to talk. We are going to talk about the game yesterday and everything, the bus parade, everything. We're going to go through all that stuff in just a second. Just whilst we're on the conversation, just quickly, were you hoping that had we went down, that it would have created more fan pressure that would have resulted in Enoch selling, or were you just hoping to see a better, more efficient version of Enoch in a world where we went down?
Enoch aren't going to sell. I've been saying this for ages. I want them to sell. I'd love them to sell. If every single fan turned against Enoch, they would sell, because then they've got no customers. But I knew that wasn't going to happen. After last year, I realised that's not going to happen. This year, 100%. And, there's, Charrington in his message said Enoch are not selling. Tottenham aren't going, they're not going to sell the club, contrary to Lubo's ITK sources. They're not interested in selling, because in world football, no matter what they offer us, no matter what. Yeah, hope. They're not. When you've got a business and you can serve up whatever you want and the customers keep coming, you don't sell that business. It's a fantastic business when you can't upset your customers. So for me, I just felt only by going down, the financial damage it would have done to Enoch would have forced them to completely reevaluate everything and anything. Whereas Johnny, he felt that almost getting relegated would do that. We will see. Now we will see. They've put out their statement. We'll see. But I don't think anything's going to change. I think we're going to get back to that top 6, top 4 club eventually, and then we're going to hit a brick wall again.
Can I just say? Sorry. I'm just going to say. Look, I thought a near fatal car crash would refocus the board on the severity of the situation and what could have been, and you couldn't get any nearer near fatal car crash than going into the last few minutes of the game. And I think that will focus them just as much as going down, because going down forces them to go backwards, sell up all their best players. It doesn't give them a second chance. It sends them even further backwards. Whereas this is a huge wake-up call. What I would agree with you, though, Stel, is we've heard the talk so many times. There's 100 million coming in. There's this, we're going to spend bit, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I don't think it's the fact that Spurs haven't spent money. It's the fact that we've consistently spent money on shocking signings that have not lived up to their expectations, because our criteria for making those signings has been totally wrong. I can't go into lots of detail on players and the reason why they didn't sign them, but I hope the talk's cheap, right? And that Charrington statement was embarrassing. The only thing is we're going to back De Zerbi. Well, mate, if you don't back De Zerbi, he's walking. So we will know soon enough. Because if Johan Lang trots in with one of his bollock signings again, De Zerbi's walking. So I think we will know sooner rather than later whether or not there's any credence to this AI generated thing. What I would say to you is it's the first time, Lubo can correct me, I think it's the first time I can ever remember since I've been going to Spurs where there has not been an end of season statement from the chairman or the owner going back as far as I can remember. Lubo?
You're 100% correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Lubo, it's interesting.
There's nothing in there. There was nothing in there yesterday at all. But then how could there be? What were they going to talk about? Didn't know whether they were going to survive. Didn't know whether they were going to go down. Exactly. So it was.
Yeah. That's why.
If not in the program, then it had to come out this morning.
It's not in the manifesto.
We are going to talk about it in a minute. we're going to talk about the day first. But just quickly, Lubo, did you notice Stell conveniently just in trying to, like, you know, this haymakers being swung, or at least sort of some early jabs being thrown towards Stell. Stell was trying to duck and weave his way through it. Doesn't answer the question, but in his answer, he does actually throw a little dig towards you for your ITKs and all of your in the nose and your sources, not knowing what they are from their elbow when it comes to whether or not the owners are going to stay or go. And you got to get in there and defend yourself, mate.
That's absolutely fine.
I feel like
Sean, but I tried to come in, but thanks for giving me the opportunity now to directly address that.
I feel like Sean's just taken the digs at you and used me as like the shield to do it with. I feel like Sean's just used me to go in on you. What the hell just happened? Did that really just happen?
Whatever digs that they've just bounced off me, I just want to address what you said. I felt that, like Johnny, if, please God, we survive, we stay up, and then they look at it and they think, do you know what? The value of our asset, we were very close. We're one match off that asset diving dramatically. And they may have looked at that and thought, do you know what? This is going to cost an absolute fortune to get us back up to where we were for maybe 2 or 3 years in the last decade. So do we actually want to go in and spend God knows how many hundreds of millions, or do we look at it and think, great, if we could get 3 or 3.25 based on an investment of 350 million, we could get 3.25 billion. Then what's wrong with a 9 times profit? On investment. I mean, return on investment 9 times. That's brilliant in today's world.
That's not the point. That's not the point you're making. It wasn't about your hypothesis of it was you were suggesting.
I told you it was Sean going on you.
Sean, that wasn't an ITK. That was me thinking. That was me hoping that they would.
No, you were saying that you're ITK. Is this the unraveling of Lubo's ITK?
No.
Whatever delusions are in Lubo's head.
No, I've got.
I had it on good authority. What authority is that? The other guy.
I've got no ITK. I've got no ITK on the boards. So there's nobody saying to me, well, they're thinking of selling. They're not thinking.
You were claiming. It's just the same thing with the Harry Kane claim that Harry Kane's coming back. Is this just the other version of you in your head that's making this stuff up and putting it out of ITKs? Funny
thing was, I saw that ITK about Harry Kane coming back yesterday at the match, and I said to him, Howard, it's not happening, is it? You reckon he was coming back this summer, then he's going to come back next summer. Yeah. Why is he going to leave to come here?
Yeah, he isn't. Yeah.
He said the info I got. He shook his head. He said it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely, isn't it?
We told you the day you told us. The day you told us. Oh my God.
You cannot trust the guy who cuts the bread at Gales to give you information that actually Harry Kane's brother's son. Right, was it the other day? Yeah.
So there you go. Harry Kane's not cut. Harry Kane's not coming back.
The guy that dips the battered sausages in at Chick King's Fryers. Yeah. He told me.
This is hilarious. It's taken all season. We all knew Lubo's ITK sources were bullshit. Now he's just exposed himself and basically just creating it in his own mind and dropping it as an ITK bomber.
No. I had genuinely hoped that they would look at this and take a view. And people like your mates, Eric, Sean, people like him, if they were still around, they could go back to them and say, right, where are we now? Are you still interested? Let's put a deal together. Obviously, they're not selling. Obviously, they're not.
Why just like on a kind of common sense approach? Why would you sell a business where you've got the most loyal customers, regardless of what you serve them, regardless of what you serve up, they will turn up? Why would you sell that business? It's like having a restaurant and serving raw steak and cold beans and flat Coca-Cola, and they keep coming. Like, why would you shut the restaurant down? It's a great business.
Well, still people sell, take a nice profit, and move on to something else and use that money for something else. Yeah, it happens all the time in business.
Not these guys. Listen, we'll come to the statement in a minute because they made it clear in the statement that they're not going. It's not for sale. And there's only really one important line in there that is worth talking about. But we'll come to that in a minute. Before we do, let's talk about the game yesterday. Let's talk about the occasion. obviously 2 of us were there, 2 of us weren't. I stayed at home in the end, so I'll let Lubo and Johnny start us off with the atmosphere. Obviously, the game itself wasn't particularly important. I mean, it was important, but it's not massively. It wasn't a massively eventful game. But before the game, the bus parade, the atmosphere in the stadium, Lubo, I've heard rumours that it was the best ever, better than the Arsenal game.
It was as good. It was as good. I thought it was absolutely superb. All you saw was whites right the way around the stadium. I got there about 3 o'clock. I didn't go for the bus parade. Why were you there, Johnny? Were you at the bus parade?
Can't you tell from his complexion?
Yeah.
Look at the colour of me.
Johnny, did you see any of the players behind the blacked out?
No, and it's not a parade. I refuse to refer to it as a parade. The bus passing.
The bus passing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The atmosphere, I thought, listen, there was a nice feel. There was a nice vibe along the high road about an hour before when I got there. And I just thought there was a nice atmosphere when they came out. De Zerbi came out about 3:20 when the players were training and like pumped it up like that to the fans and lifted them. And there was a whole load of noise then. And it carried on, and I thought the fans were superb throughout. I think everybody realised how big a game this was. And it wasn't like the Forest game where it was, where they started off by 10 or 20,000, whatever it was, cheering the bus as it went past and then walking out the ground at 2-0 after 70 minutes. I think everybody realised it wasn't one of those days. And it was, it was stick together and get the team right, get the team through. And I thought it wasn't a great game, was it? It was a poor game. I mean, we had something like 20 shots and 2 on target, and Everton had, I think, 1 on target the whole match. It was, and what a lovely, great save from Kinski again. 98th minute, having had pretty much nothing to do.
Any standout players you want to call out for the performance on the day? I thought there was 3 that I thought were terrific yesterday, personally. Pedro Porro, Kevin Danso, and João Palhinha. I thought those 3 were fantastic.
Yeah, they played well. They all played well. I thought Benson Core didn't have too good a game compared to the recent matches. Kept giving the ball away, but he's been paramount. He's been one of the key players since De Zerbi came in. Listen, they dug it out. It hasn't been pretty to watch, but he came in with a remit to keep us up. The shots on targets against us since De Zerbi came in, 17 in 7 games. We're number 1 in the entire league for that.
That's incredible, isn't it? Wow.
Which is brilliant. I think we are 9th in the league table for points. We got 11 out of the 21. The top team was 17. So we weren't that far off. And you know what? But for the silly mistakes by Dan Sotel and Mwani, we may well have been on 15 or 16 points out of the 21. So I think with a poor squad, I think De Zerbi did a really good job. Came in after the Forest game. I'm sure everybody thought we're done. This is, there's clubs are busted flush. We were dreadful. We'd lost. We got 1 point out of 15, conceded 13 in 5 games. It was absolutely horrendous. The performances were poor. But he's come in to a club with that was on its knees. Players' heads were down, no confidence, and he's banged on about positivity the whole time. And he's got inside the players' heads. And full marks to him. I think he's done a really, really good job.
Yeah, nice take, mate. I thought that's a good, well-rounded synopsis there. Johnny, I'll come to you. You were there at the game as well. You were there a bit earlier, obviously, baking in the sun. I know you're not calling it a parade, whatever it was. The bus welcome. You were there for that.
Yeah, the bus welcome. Yeah, look, personally,
Johnny, were the players on the bus? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, look. Look, I'm not going down that route, right?
I'm just asking. So I wasn't there.
I know. Yeah, I know what you are, right? Listen, we go.
If they're on the bus or not.
Keep fishing, mate. Keep fishing. This trout is smart.
I live in Cyprus. I'm 3,000 miles away. I can't see.
Your hook is over there. It's
smart.
Listen,
I just want to know the players there.
Mate. No interest.
The smart trout.
Absolute. The smart trout. No.
If someone in the comments, please go and get a ChatGPT image of a clever trout and change your smart trout, please.
Can people in the chat just let me know if the players are on the bus, because Johnny doesn't know. I'd like to know.
Yeah. Mate, you keep digging away, mate. You're with your negativity. I prefer to stick to the positivity.
Just want to know if the players were there. How's
I'm
that
just
negative?
saying to you, not interested. As I said to you, I arrived there. Wasn't as many people as were there for the first one initially, but with about 40 minutes to go, a lot of people turned up. I think just judging by the fact that there was a lot of noise there, and it was sort of a magnet for others to join in. Why was I there? I turned up because I give a shit, and the fact that De Zerbi had asked for it was the only reason I turned up. Because if it gives 1%, 5% extra to make them realise the job that they should be doing even without that the bus pass, then should they need it? No, but I personally think that if you were on that bus and you saw the smoke, the singing, and the noise that was emanating from that section, and then when they passed by, literally thousands of people were going in both directions along both sides of the high street. The atmosphere was absolutely fantastic, and I've got to be honest with you, I think that carried into the stadium, straight into the stadium. So you can mock it all you like, but they carried that into both sides of the stadium, both in the south stand and into the stadium itself. The atmosphere was the best since Arsenal. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I saw people who don't normally stand up or give a shit, standing up, applauding them on. You couldn't knock it. And if they didn't deliver, the fans had done their part. As for the game itself, I take objection to the fact that Everton had no intentions of coming to do anything. If that was the case, that's been levelled by some people. I don't know what they're talking about. I know we're not a great team, and Everton, first team, the only team we've beaten home and away this season, incredibly, and our first win at home since in 2026. How outrageous is that? Our first league home win in 2026. Disgraceful. And only our third at home in the season. So we started with a win this season against Burnley, and we ended with a win against Everton. The game itself, I think Kevin Danso was an absolute monster in the air. I've always had doubts with him on the ground, but he was a colossus. He won literally every header. And when you think of the likes of Tarkowski and the likes, I think he did exceptionally well. Gardner and Dewsbury Hall, threats down the flank. What I was really happy with was some of the interchange passing, one-touch interchange passing that was taking place on the flanks. I hadn't seen that for a long time. Little flicks, little touches. I think we can see De Zerbi trying to influence his style of play with very average or below average players. I mean, the fact that we had the most shots or efforts at goal in that first half, I know Sean was saying a lot of them got blocked, but it's, don't take a shot if it's getting blocked. Hit the ball in early. We're just very, very, very poor in the middle, up top. It's really embarrassing. And the fact that Tell is our standout guy tells you just how bad the other two are, because it's a really low bar. I thought Paulinho again. I mean, the abuse the double pivot got this season with Bentancur and Paulinho, and the fact that Paulinho and Bentancur must be dropped. When you look at it now, it's an embarrassment, because with the right coach, those two were the whole engine room of this sudden upsurge under De Zerbi for me. Bentancur was a little bit off this game, but from what I was told in the run up to this game, he's been pushed beyond what he's meant to have been doing as far as game time and minutes, and he pushed himself beyond. So that didn't really come as a surprise. I thought personally, I was very happy with Pedro Porro, I think, and Jed Spence. Now, I know everyone's going to say Pedro Porro had a good game, but I believe that Jed Spence being on that right side and giving him the cover allowed Pedro Porro to have a much better game. That's my personal feeling. It might not be shared by everybody. But yeah, again, I'd like to say, for me, you know, when I look at it over the last few weeks, De Zerbi, Paulinho with his winning goals, 2 winning goals against Wolves at home, Wolves away, and this goal the other day, and Kinski's saves have been instrumental, really, in us surviving. And for Kinski to have been treated the way he was and marched off that pitch down the tunnel, not even consoled by anyone other than the players that were on the bench, and to come out and produce some of the saves that he's made, and they are crucial. They are just as important as any player on that pitch. The save, they clawed one out against Wolves, the one on the line against Leeds, the unbelievable save of the season, and that one at the death. And not only that, the composure that he's shown at the back has allowed the defence to be much more comfortable. I mean, who would have thought we would have got a clean sheet against Everton? Let's be serious. I think, look, you know...
There's some breaking news, Johnny, regarding Paulinho. Do you mind if we just quickly pivot to that?
Yeah,
Is that
go
right?
on. Has he got...
I'm trying to get your statement up. I've got it here.
He's going to Sporting.
Looks like it.
Fucking
now,
hell.
Paulinho on Instagram says, the reflection of all the emotion experienced throughout the season. When I arrived here, I knew Tottenham was a great club, but great clubs are not measured only by their league position. They're also measured by the fans who represent them. And you showed that on the decisive moments. I don't have the words to thank you all for your support after such a difficult season collectively. With so many things happening along the way, this will undoubtedly be a season that will make this club stronger and better prepared for the future. The pride and pleasure of representing Tottenham is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it's a goodbye message. That's devastating.
Wow. Yeah, how do you reply? I mean, look, some will say he's 31. It's not the type of player. Look, when the guy scored 7 goals, and not just any 7 goals, he scored crucial goals and fantastic goals. Yeah. And when he's your best tackler or your best interceptor of the ball, who else has there been? You remove him from the team right now. Who else is there? I mean, Gallagher runs
I'm
around.
Gutted about that, mate. I'm gutted. Like I put out a video last night, a drunken, sloppy video saying, "For the love of God, Tottenham, he deserves a contract." I've never felt. They always say, "Don't fall in love with lone players." I'm so connected to him. I think his passion. He deserved his own little moment, because if it was his last game, he deserved the moment to say, for us to say thank you. And he got, because there was other things going on, he got caught up in it.
But Sean,
they fucking happy with that.
No, Sean,
I'm laughing because Charrington said, we're going to rebuild with leaders and experience, and we're about to lose an experienced leader.
Yeah, can I just say, I blame the board here. I blame the board here. It's an absolute drop the fucking ball again.
I don't know if they could have. They couldn't have. Like, if we went down, they couldn't have afforded him, Johnny.
Hang on,
hang on a second.
Yeah, but
if we finished top 6, I think he would have stayed. If we finished top 6, he would have stayed.
Hang on a second. You know, I said this in January. Why are we dicking around? Because if he carries on and he has good games, all we're doing is buttering up for another club. Don't do what you always do. Wait until it's too late. And that's exactly what they've done. They've waited.
It's all going to change now.
Zhao, let us wait to see whether we're up before whether we're interested in you. Oh, we're
interested. I think that there is. Come on now. Let's talk about it from a kind of logical perspective. If you signed him and then we went down, you paid £20 million for a 31-year-old who's going to be on 180 grand a week or whatever, or 150 grand a week, whatever his wages. I'm sure it's over 100 grand. I'm sure it's over 6 figures. And I think that would just been an absolute anchor. Like, I think it's reasonable for him if someone comes along if Sporting come along in the process and say, come, and he was there, he's from there, right? So, you know, you kind of go, okay, but maybe that's a risk you've got to take. But I don't think you can necessarily accelerate it or expedite that process until you know where you are. Maybe there's the argument to have made it in January because we didn't know where we were in January. We didn't really know the consequences of where we were in January. But I think logically...
That's when it was, January.
Yeah, but I think that logically, like maybe we could have had a conversation and said, look, if we stay up, we'd love to keep you. Maybe De Zerbi just doesn't rate him. Maybe De Zerbi doesn't think he's good enough for the role that with the sort of ball that we're going to be playing under De Zerbi. But for me, I'm sad if that's true. It might just be the end of season, his end of season message saying, and if it was a permanent player, it might have read exactly the same way. And maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but it does feel like that's a goodbye message, and I think it's a real shame because I think he should be captain of the football club next season.
Let's have it right. He's our best midfielder, and even if he can't quite play De Zerbi ball, you definitely want him in the squad, right? You definitely want him in the squad. You can't. Charrington's statement specifically said we're going to build a squad that can compete. That's the exact kind of player you want in a squad. Mm-hmm. So for me, if he goes, it's a massive blow. It's a step backwards. So,
I agree. 100%. 100%.
I think we all do.
I just wanted, I think we're all in consensus there. There's a few super chats here. I know we usually wait until the hour mark, but a couple of them are really very,
Sean,
very...
Can I do my quick take on the game? I'll be quick.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, of course. Sorry.
That's all right. We got distracted by Paulinho.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, please. Yeah. Go for it.
No. I'll be quick because I was mostly watching the West Ham game, but I'm joking, by the way. Joking. Everyone in the chat.
Sensational.
It was a good game, by the way. It was actually a good game.
Very good. Very good.
Four things. I'll be quick. When we were having all our arguments at the start of the season about Frank, I tried to put forward the argument that all the passing metrics were down, and that's a coaching failure. These are the coaches that are letting us down. They're not practicing the passing game enough because that's not how Frank wants to play. And I think now in 7 games, every fan can see one of the biggest failures of the season, as much as the squad being weak, was a coaching failure, which was something I was trying to suggest because this squad should never have been 17th. Mid-table, maybe 8th, that kind of place, yes. We had a shocking coach in Thomas Frank, and people just didn't want to acknowledge it. And Tudor was worse than Frank. De Zerbi has shown what coaching looks like. That's the first thing. Secondly, to every manager that dropped Paulinho, you idiots, including De Zerbi in his first game. To not start Paulinho in any game with this squad is criminal. He's our best midfielder, and yet again, he's the one that scored the goal for us on the weekend. Number 3, Kinski. I think he's proven he deserves a crack at it. I think now he's proven he deserves a crack at it for one season. Let's see what he's about, and let's see if he's going to be the goalie.
Question marks over his positioning a little bit, though. Still, like that. I know that was a great save at the end there, but if his positioning was a little bit better,
he's not perfect, right? Because I think he's at fault for one of the goals
Chelsea
in the Chelsea game. Yeah, so he's not perfect, but I think he's a goalie we can build on and see what happens. Sure. And the last thing I wanted to say is we got 11 points out of a possible 21 out of 7 games with De Zerbi. If he maintained that results, points earned per game ratio for the whole season, we would have
6th.
We would have been on 59 points, 6th place Europa Cup. Yeah. That's what we lost out with Frank and Tudor. De Zerbi, with this team, if he kept it going,
all the injuries as well.
Bear in mind, there's a caveat to what I'm saying because De Zerbi had no European football, no cup games. He just had Premier League, whereas Frank had 3-4 games a week. Tudor had a couple. So, but De Zerbi could have maybe got Tottenham into Europe if he was the manager at the start of the season. Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Lou, but did you want to come in there and say something?
Yeah, no, listen. I was excited when Frank came in. It didn't work out. I thought, listen, he inherited an unbalanced squad. I think we've all seen that. It's one of the weakest squads I can remember at Spurs for many, many years. All of that was against him. And Deserby didn't have the injuries, did he? Deserby came back in at the perfect time. Players were coming back to fitness. And apart, he's even had Maddison for 2 or 3 games. So Bentancur came back, Beauval came back.
He's had no Romero, no Kudus. Lubo, do you know what it is?
Well, maybe not having a Romero still has actually worked in our favour, because Danso's come in and he's been very, very consistent. There's been no bozo moments. We've stayed with 11 men on the pitch.
I think Romero's passing game suits Deserby more. Do you know what I think the biggest factor was? It was the fact that Ange, forget whether Ange is good or not, Ange tried to coach a passing game and the squad had been drilled to try and do that. We needed that type of manager to come in, a possession-based front foot manager, because that's the squad that had been assembled, or that's the squad that had been coached to try and do that. 100%, Frank came in and did the complete opposite.
Philosophical continuity is, how long have we been talking about that as Tottenham fans, right? It's mental. We just go from pillar to post. If we got rid of Ange and brought in Deserby, that could have shored us up defensively, but maintained that kind of that ball approach, I don't think we'd be anything like with the situation we're in. But we went down the Thomas Frank route, and Thomas Frank, I think Thomas Frank was so surprisingly disappointing. Like, I think everybody had their own takes on Thomas Frank, but I don't think anybody thought he was a bad manager or a bad coach. Everyone just had their opinion on whether he was the right guy for Tottenham, whether he played the right style of football, whether he was big enough as a mentality monster to be able to handle the pressure of the goldfish bowl of Tottenham. And it turned out, to me, I think he's the biggest disappointment in terms of what we saw from him. Just the entire mood shifted around him when he came in and said, the one thing's for sure, guys, we're going to lose matches. Like, Mr. Pragmatism. You're like, what are we doing? You don't want to hear that stuff. It's just, and he just sort of sucked the air out of the room. Whereas Deserby, I think, is someone like, Tottenham
he's
will
got
have
personality. Deserby's got
personality, character, and hopefully Tottenham, just like Arteta, for rightly or wrongly or good or bad, Arteta is what Arsenal are. They represent him. High energy, just kicking every ball together.
They're a reflection. They're a reflection of him. Yeah,
that's 100% it. Guys, let me do some super chats. We're going a little bit early on it. There's 1,350 people here tonight. Unbelievable numbers. Please don't forget to smash the like button. If you are watching, we should be on 600 likes if we can be. Half of you should have hit the like button. If you enjoyed the show, hit the subscribe as well. Notification button should be squeezed. And don't forget OK Jersey as well, guys. Code 515. Big up to them for the sponsorship. Gets you all of the best, anything you want really in the football club. You can find it there. Sanilla 32, unbelievable super chat. He put this in just as the show was starting. I didn't get a chance to read it. Had I seen it, Sanilla? I guess you're not watching now. I'm sorry, I should have called it out immediately. But he says, gents, I'm sorry I can't be there for this last post-match show of the season. The time and effort you have all put in over the season is not unnoticed and not without my complete gratitude and thanks. Come on, you Spurs. Mate, awesome message, man. Thank you. Thanks for that. I think we all agree that's very nice. Sorry, Steve.
Thanks very much, Sanilla. Much appreciated.
I was going to say, Sanilla, he was at every protest, this guy, and he travelled. So he's someone that has wanted to see change at the club for a long time, and big up to you, because I see eye to eye with him on how he views the club. But he's
are you the same height?
We are actually, yeah. We are, yeah.
On my birthday, he reached out to me and said, if you want a birthday ticket, I'll take you to the game and put you in the premium thing.
Mate, he's a genuinely really nice guy.
Genuinely,
he really is. Face to face, you meet him, he's a top guy. He really is.
Big up to you, Snilla. Thank you very much for your support, my man, and very generous way to end the season. Really appreciate you, mate. Best have a brilliant summer. Destiny 5, big up to Desto. He says, Stel says there's an agenda against Romero hate, but he wanted Spurs to go down. No agenda when it suits him. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Come on,
the
Desto,
thing is,
at the end of the season show, we don't need to be.
No, it's okay, because the issue with this super chat is I do have an agenda against ENIC, though. I have an agenda. So that's
yeah.
You've said no agenda when it suits him. I do have an agenda. I do.
Big up to Destiny. Thanks for the super chat, my man. Thanks. Big up to you. Bookie TV has said, if the board wanted to win the fans over, easiest move would have been to announce Lang sacking and the scouts They couldn't find players to improve us in January. 100%. We're going to come to that section of the show in just a minute. I've got the report to announce because it does look like AI slop. It's like 400 words or 600 words of nothing burgers, but there's one important statement in there which is not the sentence that you wanted to read. But we'll come to that in just a second. Big up to you, Bookie. Appreciate you, mate. Ledley's knees. Big up to you, Ledders. He says the post-mortem Spurs articles are brutal. Charrington is getting cooked. Staff must be briefing against him. Not out of the woods yet, people. Yeah, again, like this narrative. Again, we'll show it in a minute. But this narrative of like, you know, that there was insufficient expertise in the football club. But the only expertise that they brought in since they've all been here is the head of PR and the head of marketing, which are essentially communications people. You know, and what does that look like? You know,
they failed at that even.
I think Tottenham fans are just like they see through it. I don't think Tottenham fans get sucked into the bullshit anymore. I think it's like, you know, fool me once, fool me twice. You know, full man can fool again. For those of you who don't remember that.
The A team.
Fool me once, shame on. A full man can't get fooled again.
Sucker.
Sorry, that's rabbit hole stuff. Big up to you, Ladies' Knees. Super Spurs TV, Blaine Devlin says, big up, lads. Big up to you, Blaine. Thank you so much. Just want a simple answer from you. Simple. Okay, we'll try. How many players in and how many out this summer? I'm guessing 7 out and 6 in, including one marquee signing. But whilst we're guided by a pastry, I'm still worried. Get him gone in RDZ. We trust. But that's not a quick answer, mate. We'll save some time for that at the end. I won't remove the super chat, Blaine. I'll come back to you, mate. But we've got time for that.
Star it.
We'll score that one, buddy.
Thanks for the generous super chat, though, mate.
Yeah, very generous, mate.
Very
generous, buddy. And I will dedicate enough time to that question, I promise you. But we'll stay on track for now, Blaine. But thanks so much. Ant London says, don't believe a word of these owners. Vinay and Lang staying. Spurs will go down next year with these charlatans. Need to be a fan revolt. Again,
sounds like me.
I think is this your burner account still?
I think it is. I think I've got a burner, guys. I've actually got a burner.
Can I just on that subject? I think I told you before, right? Spurs surviving by their fingernails, right? They're the first team since Luton Town in 1990-91 to have avoided relegation on 2 successive seasons by finishing just 1 place above the drop zone each time. They did it again the third
time. Is better than season 2.
They did it a third time and went down in 1992. We're the first team to do it.
No club in the Premier League has ever changed the manager whilst in a relegation battle with only 7 games to go and survived. We are the first club to do it. Changing the manager.
We analysed this about 3 months ago, didn't we? When we looked at the Igor Tudor signing, it was like, how long have we got left? How long have we got left?
We have broken. We have broken every record. 22. We're the first team ever to lose 22 games and not be relegated. I mean, we are the record-breaking club for all the wrong reasons. Big up, Terry O'Shea.
Talking about record-breaking, we actually have some breaking news. I'm going to come back to Terry's message just a second.
Big up, Terry. Another one at the protest.
Terry. Breaking news. Sean Baller's missus has a crush on Lubo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, has she seen him when he's doing his Hulk smash? Hulk smash, Levy, 25 years.
Your missus has got, Sean, can't fault your missus for taste, mate.
Big up to Mrs. Baller.
Just because she's sponsored by
Baller. I love that.
Just because she's sponsored by Specsavers, don't hold that against her.
Nice. All right, let's get to Terry's message. We actually Terry says, Sean, now they admit in statement football success had not been driving our decision. Do you think you was wrong to justify why Spurs couldn't compete when all along they haven't been trying?
Well done, Terry. Well done, Terry. You tell him. Well done, Terry.
Right. And that Terry's
he didn't ask you. He didn't ask you, Lubo. He asked Sean. Let me.
This is super chat.
The answer is no. The answer is no because This guy is just whitewashing the sins, the apparent sins of their fathers. It don't work like that. It's all the same bloody people, but they've been trying to bake out like it was Daniel Levy's fault the whole time. If you can't smell that from 1,000 yards, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing here at all. So the answer is absolutely not. I was 100% right the entire time, and I'll continue to be right. And that's basically the way that my mind works. Go on, Lilywhite.
Listen, listen, we're coming to the statement, aren't we, Sean?
Yeah, we're doing it now. We're
coming to the statement. So
Yeah.
I'll say like this. We're going to go through the
This is for
statement.
you for that cooking session you just delivered. All right, Terry?
Yes. Well done, Terry.
Well done. Good cooking, Terry.
Yeah.
Those pots are decoration only, aren't they? Still,
Yeah.
They've never
Shall we
seen.
put-
They've never seen a bit of food in that pot, mate. That is
Shall we put,
pristine.
Johnny, what sauces do we put in the pot with Sean? We put a little bit of olive oil in as well because it's stale. What do you reckon?
I think flambe, like a little flambe.
Listen, right? What we do know today, categorically, is all the Levy outers and the Enoch outers that have been winding me up, telling me over the last 4 or 5 years, we wanted Bruno Fernandes and Levy gave us Gedson Fernandes. Well, we heard from the horse's mouth today, Bruno Fernandes on Sean Bartlett's. Sean Bartlett, what was the guy's name? Is it Sean Bartlett? No, Stephen Bartlett's. Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a Millionaire or Billionaire, whatever it is.
Diary of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO. Thank you for correcting me. Bartlett asked Fernandes, "Is it true you were going to go to Tottenham?" He said, "Yes, it is true. We were going to go. I was going to go to Tottenham. We were 1 or 2 days away. It was all going to happen, and it was going to happen. But then Sporting had to pull away and said we can't let him go. So all of you that are saying Daniel Levy didn't want to pay the extra 2 million, you were wrong. You were wrong about that.
Did he say?
1,
Sean,
Enoch out 0.
Sean, but did Bruno say that Levy lowballed the offer? Did
No.
he say that?
No, he didn't say that.
He didn't, but he could have said it, and he should
He
have said
didn't say
it.
it. It isn't true. The deal was going to happen. The deal was going to happen.
Come on.
Listen,
It
it's
was
okay to be
20
wrong.
million adrift, according
It's
to
okay
Reddit.
to be wrong.
at the time,
It's okay
according
to be
Reddit,
wrong.
Sean, according to Reddit at the time, Levy lowballed by 20 million euros. I mean, of course, Sporting are not going to take
They
it.
were going to do it. The deal was going to get done, and 24 hours before the deal was going to get signed, Sporting said we can't afford to let him go. That was out of Bruno Fernandes' own mouth. He wasn't doing it to protect Tottenham or to protect anyone. He was just telling the story. So, unfortunately, we're going to rewrite history a little bit here because it's better to know exactly what actually happened than that agenda's agenda. You know, it's fine though. It's fine. Let's move on. See how I deflected away from Terry O'Shea's super chat there.
Yeah. But don't worry, Terry, great super chat, Terry. You can see Sean knows you're right because he's deflected away. But we will pick this up on the statement. Don't worry. Charrington's statement. We're there.
We're here now. Guys, there's 1,300 people here. Please do smash the like button if you're enjoying this effort tonight. All right, here we go. This is the thing that came out from Charrington this morning. Dear supporters, on Sunday, despite a season that gave you so little and you gave everything, a full stadium, full voice, full belief until the final whistle, I have thought carefully about how to begin this letter, said ChatGPT, and in the end, that moment said it better than I can. It is why we owe you an honesty about where we have fallen short and what we are committed to now.
Liar.
Last September, we recognised that something seismic had to change at Spurs.
Correct.
Yeah, look what they did with it. The Lewis family stepped in and authorised a full reset. That decision was not taken lightly and it came later than it should have. But what has been put in motion is real and it marks a genuine break from what had come before. Yeah, what had come before was stability. Dickhead. Absolute dickhead. As part of that process, we discovered some uncomfortable truths. The qualities that make Spurs distinct, our football, our ambition, the connection between the team and its supporters had been allowed to fade. Football success had not been driving our decisions. We did not have the right expertise in key roles. So we hire a communications expert and a PR spin. Cool. We did not build squads good enough to compete in the most demanding league in the world. 2 17th place finishes in a row is not acceptable. And we will not dress it up as anything other than falling well short of what the club expects. Since September, we have restructured leadership across the club with a refreshed executive and football structure. Most of this team are already in post and others will be arriving in the coming weeks. The board are committed to this leadership group and will give them the stability and support they need to run this club in the right way. That's the sentence that matters, by the way. That's it. Everything else is waffle. That is the only thing that matters in that whole statement. Roberto De Zerbi is signed as men's head coach for 5 years, a reflection of our belief in his ability and our commitment to build back to where we need to be. He is passionate, committed, and positive in everything he does, and represents the kind of football and ambition that Tottenham Hotspur should stand for. Our commitments to you are clear. We will build a squad led by Roberto as head coach.
Is this a manifesto?
This is it. It's a 4-point manifesto. It's a 5-point manifesto. We showed one of yours off, Lubo. With the right blend of experience, youth, and leadership to compete at the highest levels of Premier League and European football. And we're going to start by letting João Palhinha leave the football club. We will invest across multiple transfer windows to rebuild, balance, and strengthen, with the summer representing an important first step in that work. What is that like the most pathetic, unnecessary statement? Of course, you're going to invest across multiple transfer windows. Every team does, every window. What is that? It's just a nothing burger of a comment. We will continue to modernise our football operation with a significant focus on raising standards across medical and performance. You've been at it a year, Charrington, and the medical team has never been as bad as it is right now. Like you haven't improved in any way, shape, or form. We will increase investment in the academy to ensure that the pathway from youth football to the first team is one of the strongest in the country. Okay, can't wait to see some of those breakthrough talents. We've been hearing that.
Yeah, but hold on, Sean. Sorry. They don't need to increase investment in the academy. They need to stop investing in youngsters that they buy for the first team to allow the pathway for the academy.
Correct. 100%. Yeah. We will build on a strong season for Spurs women by continuing to invest in a world-class team led by Martin Ho. Since becoming chairman, I have realised that Spurs fans are built differently. They're built different. I've seen it over and over again in the last 9 months.
We're hairier. We're a hairier bunch.
Hairier in certain parts of your body and not so much. By the way, I'm getting a hair transplant like you still. I'm getting one done in the end of the year. So I'll be out there with you.
Are you really or not?
No, genuinely, yeah, genuinely.
Oh, we'll talk after the show.
Okay. I have seen it over and over again in the last 9 months across every generation, in every conversation, even in the darkest of seasons. You showed up and carried this team. That loyalty is not something we take for granted. Okay, then drop the season ticket prices, but you won't. It's something that we are determined to be worthy of. There has been speculation about ownership and the future direction of the club. Let us be direct. Tottenham Hotspur is not for sale. The Lewis family are wholly committed to this club and to this rebuild. Put your money where your mouth is then. They will provide the stability and investment needed at every club, at every level, to move us forward. And they see that as a long-term responsibility, not a short-term fix. This season fell well short of what Tottenham Hotspur demands. We must be in the fight with the best teams in this league every season, and we are rebuilding this club with that standard in mind. This club lives in the hearts of everyone who has ever loved it. It has been carried through living rooms and stands, weekends and long journeys home. We will get back to where we belong. Peter Charrington.
Jam tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, a lot of that is we will build over the period of time. You know, there's no blah, blah, blah. You know, what sort of time frame are we talking about? We're going to support from here on in. I thought we were going to get
nonsense, mate. These commitments. Sorry, just one sec, Lou. These commitments are absolute waffle. Okay, we will build a squad. Okay, like water is wet. That's what you have to do. For fuck's sake,
correct.
We will invest across multiple transfer windows. Duh.
When?
That's how it works.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. Like, what are we doing here? That's what football is. We will continue to modernise our football operation. You've had a year, and our medical team is the worst it's ever been. Like, what are you doing? We will increase investment in the academy. At what point will we ever see any of the green shoots of that? We never do. The only thing, the whole thing is waffle. The whole thing is waffle. The only thing that matters in here is the club is not for sale. They keep saying that. And then that sentence there. The board are committed to this leadership group and will give them the stability and support they need. That means that the only topic that every single Tottenham fan across the world is uniquely and universally in a consensus mindset on, which is sack Johan Lang, the easiest quick win of Tottenham Hotspur and Charrington's life. It should have happened before. It definitely should have happened today. The quickest win ever. And they have said, at least according to this statement, the board are committed to their leadership change, to the leadership group. It's ridiculous. That's the only sentence in there that matters.
Well, Sean, there is one other sentence that is very, very relevant, exceptionally relevant. Exceptionally relevant. Football success has not been driving our decisions. I think that's massive. It's enormous. It's the first time. It's the first time since
Not
Levy.
the first time. They said that. What's his name said that to the.
Levy said he took his eye off the ball. Remember?
Vinay said it. Vinay said it at the FAB meeting minutes in April.
Yeah.
And again, it was just Vinay for me. Again, I'm not trying to come at this from an agenda, but it's just papering over cracks. Show us when you say that shit. When you say that there's insufficient expertise, that Daniel Levy in the previous iteration had insufficient expertise in place. You've been here a year. Who have you hired? You've hired a PR girl and a marketing girl. That's it.
But you know what it is, Sean. Sean, you know what it is? It's the worst part about this whole conversation, this whole speech, is when you're talking. I've met people like this before who talk and say loads of things, but there is nothing there of substance. It's fucking candy floss. It's dressing up of nothing.
Yeah.
When you take it away and you analyze it, the guy's been speaking for 10 minutes. He hasn't actually said a fucking thing.
And it's very easy for like the king is dead, long live the king to turn around. It's like political movements. Every single political new presidential election, this time change, and this time we mean it. And then what happens?
I'm going to do
Nothing
this.
fucking changes. It's just we're gonna absolve the sins of us by placing it on the previous person and promise that things are going to get different. And that's exactly what that statement says. We had insufficient eyes on the.
I understand.
We all know that's the case. We all know that might be the case. That they could have had more, they could have had a higher priority in football, but whether they actually put up and do something about it, well, they haven't. They've had a year and they didn't. If they meant it, where was the January transfer window activity?
This is why we needed this delegation. This is why we needed this delegation. We've stayed up and look at us straight away. This is what I was worried about. This is
I'd rather have the conversation though, but still, why can't we have this conversation and be fuming and call them out? At this stage, why do we
the
have
fans
to,
are all going to renew their season tickets now, Johnny. All the fans are going to renew their season tickets. They're all going to buy into this. I've washed my hands of it, Sean. I've washed my hands.
Yeah, but you're in Cyprus now, so you weren't going to go. But that doesn't make any difference.
I could have kept my season ticket and sold the tickets and whatever. But the point is, right? I only want to see one thing in these statements. I only want to see one thing in these statements because Daniel Levy said this same crap. I took my eyes off the ball. The stadium build distracted me, meaning they weren't focused on football. They all say the same thing. They repackage the wording. I just want to see one thing. And when I see it, I will maybe begin to believe something these people say. And that is, we want to win, right? We want to win the Premier League. And we're going to do A, B, C, D, E to get there.
That's what Daniel Levy said. He got sacked a week later. Daniel Levy said it and he got sacked.
Right. Well, and who sacked him? It was the people that just put out this statement. So
yeah, exactly.
So for me,
this
is why at the start of the show, I said we'll get top 4 one day, and then we're going to go full speed into another brick wall. That statement is basically that, in my opinion.
Where the statement falls down badly, is that again, there's no accountability, is there? You know, for me, but I've been asked, what do you think? Do you think they'll come good? Why do they need to come good? And if they don't make good on those promises, those commitments, then who's going to be accountable for that?
Lubo, what commitment?
This has been.
He didn't even say sorry, Lubo. He didn't say I'm sorry. I am sorry.
This has been the worst season I can ever remember. And I was there for the relegation
as well.
Hang on, I was there for the relegation year in '77. We knew we had a bad team in those days, and players like Hoddle and Perriman couldn't do it all. They were just surrounded by a lot of bad players. But that team in '77 gave 100% every single match. This team haven't. This has been the worst season I can ever remember. And I know that we lost 22 games last year, but at least we had Bilbao, which papered over many, many cracks. So for me, if the Lewises are looking at that situation and they have come very, very close to a 3 to 4 billion investment being reduced in value massively, and they're not looking at who's to blame for that, and they're allowing people to carry on in their jobs, who have nearly brought them into.
That's for me. That's the only thing that matters to me. Everything else in this statement is waffle. The fact is that they're committed to the leadership group that got us here in the first place. That is absolutely atrocious. To Johan Lang. I mean, there are for what it's worth, there are conflicting reports out tonight on Twitter. There's a lot of people that are saying. I think it's one of the guys from the Sun and one of the guys from the Mail, I believe, that are coming out saying actually Vinay's job is safe, but Johan Lang's isn't, which will be a step in the right direction. It'd be interesting if they've done a 50, like a 180 immediately. But this stuff, our commitments to you, I'm sorry, like these commitments are pathetic. We will build a squad. Well, you fucking better. We're playing football.
But that's what you've got to do anyway. That's what you do.
You're putting together a squad. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Thanks for letting us know what we already know.
What they've done.
We will clean the toilets. We will lock the door at night.
Yeah, it's like saying it's like I'll brush my teeth in the morning. Okay, good. If you don't, what the fuck? What are we doing here? We will invest across multiple transfer windows. Come on, like, what is this? This is what they do anyway.
Link the paragraph above to the first paragraph in commitments. He has signed as head coach for 5 years. Now, this is to get this squad right, to bring about the dream team that De Zerbi spoke about in his quote and squads. This is going to take, I reckon, 6 transfer windows at least. Now, they're saying in here he signed a 5-year contract, which is 10 transfer windows. So they are committing to backing him. Now, I know it's fancy land that a manager stays for 5 years, but maybe this time they realise that the 2 managers under ENIC who have had the time to build teams, and the best 2 teams have been Redknapp's team and Poch's team, and they were given double, 3 times as long as the 18 months that Levy normally gave a manager. So just maybe they're looking at that thinking, this is a big commitment. They're saying he's in for five years, 10 transfer windows, we're committing to building. That's a big commitment that they're putting down. Now, for me, I think it's a load of waffle. Nothing changes till the owners go, for me personally.
In other fantastic news, sorry, Johnny, I know you want to come back in. Just want to quickly pause for a second. Tottenham have been in advanced talks for a few weeks with Andy Robertson over free transfers. The deal is close. However, Juventus have now entered the race and is trying to hijack the move.
Yeah. This is what happens when you dick around. Listen, look, can I just say about Johan Lang, right? How fucking dense must the ball be? This is a guy that has managed to convince this so-called board that he is the right guy for the job. Yet this is the same guy that can't convince a single top player to come to the club. Sorry, it's laughable. If they stick with Johan Lang and this new guy coming in from Borussia Dortmund, right? If you think he's sailing in to be the answer, he is not. He's caused all sorts of problems at Dortmund. His success rate is nothing great. And like I said to Sean, if you want to be the top in your field, you ring up, who is the best in the field at X? Who's the best psychologist? Who's the best medical guy, right? Oh, he's at so-and-so. Right, let's make him an offer he can't refuse. Get him to Spurs. That's what you do. You acquire the best in each field.
LinkedIn and look for out-of-work chumps.
Correct. Who's out of work? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's that sort of shit that should be changing, right?
Correct.
100%, Johnny. None of this, like LinkedIn, posting jobs on LinkedIn is...
Headhunters the best.
It's ridiculous. The only people that are on LinkedIn are people that need LinkedIn to network, or... if you're an expert in your field, there's nothing to do with LinkedIn, nothing to do with B2B shit. The only people that are on LinkedIn are out of work bozos, right? If you want to get the best in line, you don't find them on LinkedIn. You go and speak to specialists in recruitment and go and headhunt them. We don't do it that way. It's mental. The fact that Vinay put out, he wanted an MBA grad school assistant to come in and he advertised for it on LinkedIn. It's laughable.
I was going to put it in the shop window down at Mr. Raj's newsagents. I mean, Jesus Christ, what are we coming to?
On a notice board that try and overtake the picture of a dog walking.
When I've had my companies and businesses I've been involved in, we go to people who are in business, who are working right now, and this guy's a top guy. Would you be willing to come to us? What would it take? What would it take for you to come to us? We want you. Right. Yeah. That's why I've been headhunted. Heard the word headhunted, right? That's how top businesses who aspire to be at the top go about the business. They don't go for the guy who hasn't got a job, right? It is not a journey to success. I'm sorry, no one will ever convince me it is. It never has. Right?
Johnny, Paul Mitchell is out of work, isn't he? I think at the moment. Would he not be a good?
Well, he's not even been considered, is he? Because they're bringing the guy in from Borussia Dortmund who was got rid of because he was causing trouble. And I don't even think. Yes, he's got a few okay ones, but you know, is he special? He's not. Berta, let me tell you something. Berta, who Arsenal got from Atletico Madrid, he replaced Edu. Edu made countless fuck ups.
Take the guy from Brugge, right?
Right, yeah. He's made a lot of mistakes, Edu, and he ended up going to Forest. He went to Forest, and it wasn't long before he started to make those mistakes, and he was starting to pay for it. But look, for me, this is laughable. This is not the guy to turn it around and to work alongside. I mean, really, the infrastructure.
I don't think you need two DOFs anyway. You need one, especially if you've got De Zerbi, who's going to want to have his control. The idea, if they're going to bring in two people, if they're going to bring in someone else, it's just an admission that Johan Lang isn't capable of doing a job by himself. He needs someone to hold his hand, and yet he got involved. He cop-blocked and vetoed moves for Akliush in January because they wanted Paqueta when everybody knew that Paqueta was going back to Brazil anyway. Like the levels of incompetence in that guy, I don't understand how it is that they still think he's worth. And it's the quickest win ever. Like every Tottenham fan, there's not a single Tottenham fan in the world who would sit there and say, do you know, I think Johan Lang's done a really good job. No one is sitting there saying that Johan Lang deserves to keep his job. When has any Tottenham fan ever been in universal consensus with everyone else on a single take? Never in the years I've been alive have I seen a consensus.
Talking of going out and getting one of the best, Spurs have had to pay big compensation amounts to managers and their teams when they've gone over the last few years. So would it have cost any more to have gone and got Dougie Freeman from Saudi?
No, Dougie wasn't coming.
DOFs are cheap compared to the cost, compared to their value and their importance. DOFs do not earn anything like as much as managers do.
Why wouldn't he come, Johnny? Because I'm sure the money could have been sorted.
Because he wants absolute control, right? And he ain't going to get that. He's not going to get that there. Considering he worked with one of the second most difficult manager in the Premier League in Steve Parish, tells you everything about the guy. Everyone trusts him. He got offered the job at Man United. He got offered the job at Newcastle, and he ended up taking the job in Saudi because it's a huge sporting project. They were in the second division, and it's not just football. It's a big overall thing. But listen, I'm sure if they went out and offered him as much gold as he could eat, maybe it would all be different, and you offered him full control. That's what I'm talking about, though, Lubo. Right? Who is the guy that can turn this ship around? There's only two guys in. Can we get them? Well, only if we offered them a lot. Okay, let's do it. That's all about ambition. Where does your ambition lie? Does your ambition lie there, aiming for the top, or putting an advert in LinkedIn? The club go for LinkedIn, which is why we are where we are. We deserve to be where we are.
And if you don't know,
what does Vinay do? What does Vinay do? What's Vinay's purpose?
Exactly.
Because I know we're all going after Lange, and I agree. He's got to go. What does Vinay do?
Still, what Johnny said is higher than Vinay. This is about the balls. If they knew what they were doing, they would understand about ambition. They would understand how to get to where they want to get to if they wanted to get there in the first place.
Yeah, but we're going after Lange who isn't on the board. We're going after Lange who isn't on the board, right?
No, but we're talking about the board's decision. We're talking about the board, the upper part of it. Look, they've taken a guy out who
They hired Vinay as well, though.
25. Look, you might not know about football, but the people I was talking to were having a big conversation about it last night. You know, someone has been dealing with Daniel for many years, and he said, look, Daniel didn't know about football when he started, and it's taken him a long time to understand football, right? But these people that have come in and replaced him have known nothing about football, and they've pushed him aside. I can do that, right? You go behind all our own people, and it's been a shit show, right? I can do better than that, right? They can't, and that's where it's all fucked up. Because whatever you want to say about Daniel, these people know less.
Yeah, but isn't it Vinay's job to get rid of Lange?
Well, according to many
Yes,
conversations, it's Boucher.
This is why I'm asking the question. What does Vinay do? I don't understand.
Well, he's
Maybe
the
he's a
CEO,
puppet.
isn't he?
Who
He's the
knows?
CEO. He's probably more involved in commercial contracts and all that sort of stuff as well, right? The sorts of
Who hires and fires Lange and the replacement then?
Well, it should be the CEO, but we all know that we don't. Well, it should be Vinay, but remember,
so Vinay's the problem then. Vinay's the problem.
Vinay's a massive problem in my opinion, but I don't think he's got the power, mate. I personally think, and I've heard it from not Lubo sources, but other sources that are actual sources, that
like your one at Luton's show, that one.
Yeah, like that guy. Yeah, exactly.
That one, yeah.
The guy. Touche, Lafleur. Very good, very good. But I heard from the guy who's in the chairman's box. The guy who's in the chairman's box who was in the chairman's dinner after the game when Thomas Frank got sacked. That it was Joe Lewis that was on the phone. Joe Lewis that was on the phone to Butcher and to Charrington, and they were walking around having a conversation in public around all the people that were having their chairman's dinner, that was saying he's got to go, and that it was Frank and Vinay. It was Vinay and Lang that were trying to keep Thomas Frank in their job. And remember all the other decisions that happened that resulted in Paratici leaving because he didn't feel like he was being heard. He said so himself in his exit interview, didn't he? He said, I want to go and work for someone where I feel like my ideas are listened to. And remember that the whole point with Johan Lang and the whole idea of I called it out at the time, there's no chance that there's going to be an overlap. There's going to be a conflict of interests. And they said, no, the divisions of responsibility and accountability are pretty delineated. Johan Lang is in charge of youth team and in charge of loans, and Paratici is in charge of first team player squad acquisition. Okay, well then, how is it that Johan Lang vetoed Paratici when it came to the Akliouche signing in January? How is it that came about if Johan Lang wasn't supposed to have any say in that particular division? He got together with Thomas Frank, like the Swedish or Danish house mafia, came up and said, we don't agree, went to Vinay, and Vinay went with the majority rules, even though it shouldn't have been equal votes, because Johan Lang wasn't supposed to have any position in those conversations. Yeah. And then afterwards, just quickly, when everything came out in the wash, it looked like Vinay and Johan Lang were lame ducks, that they weren't being listened to with regards the sacking of Thomas Frank. They weren't being listened to with the hiring of Igor Tudor. And clearly we went back to Roberto De Zerbi, who we all know was actually Paratici's first choice before Thomas Frank was even hired. So I don't think that they've got any power. I think that they are lame ducks at the moment. I don't think that the people at the top trust them. And I think that I'm not sure what's more terrifying still. Like to have footballing people that are terrible at making their decisions, or to have non-footballing people overruling footballing people on footballing decisions. Either scenario is equally terrifying.
From what I've just understood, Land was in charge of the youth. So therefore, he kind of did his job because he got Bergvall, he got Gray, he got Tell, he got youngsters in. Like, he kind of did his job. Now, whether they're good or not, but I mean, what did we expect from a bunch of youngsters in the first couple of years? So he kind of did his job in some respect, and then he was thrown into the other role, which was Paratici's, which he wasn't supposed to be doing. I look at it. I look at it, and I think the first one that needs to go is Vinay. He's the first one that needs to go, not Lange.
You never wanted him, right? Because he's Arsenal, didn't you?
Vinay. The Arsenal friends I've got all said to me he was really good at communicating with the fans, but he was problematic, and he got managed out of Arsenal. Like whatever we think of Arsenal, they've got it right. Arsenal have got their shit together. Their structure is on point. And Vinay just didn't fit that structure. So why has he come to us then? Why are we inheriting the scraps of a project that wasn't working? And this is why I think, for me, I never wanted him. And since he's been here, he's been crap with the fan engagement. He's been useless. What's he done with the fans? The fact that he didn't even put out that statement that came out, Charrington's done it. I just asked myself one question. What does Vinay do? I don't think he does anything. I don't understand the role of it. At least Levy, if you said to me, what does Levy do? I could tell you what Levy does. But Vinay, I have no idea.
Well, it's interesting,
Vinay has to go first. Vinay has to go first.
Under Daniel Levy still, there was a never-ending stream of, I know it pissed everybody off all the time, but there was a never-ending stream of, the latest, Tottenham Hotspur official sponsors of dog food, Tottenham Hotspur official sponsors of whatever, like cars, or there was all that stuff all the time, like all the time. And the argument was always, well, Daniel Levy's got his control over absolutely everything. There's only so many hours in a day. He's only got one mind. He can't possibly dedicate enough time to finishing every contract, but he's involved in every conversation, which is a problem. It's a bottleneck at the top. No matter how good he was at those things, or bad, whoever you want to ask, at the end of the day, he was a bottleneck on the ability to scale because he had that kind of, I need to be over everything. It's interesting because since Vinay's been in, I can only remember about 1 or 2 sponsorship deals being signed. And there's that whole thing hanging over our heads that Matt Law was talking about, where there's a giant sponsor that's leaving the football club at the end of the season that hasn't been replaced. Haven't heard anything more there. So it's a good question to ask. What exactly is he up to? Because I don't know, to be honest.
Do you know what I feel like? For some reason, Spurs have created this model where we need a chairman for the business and a chairman for the football. We need 2 different chairmans because we can't find a chairman that can do both. We either have a chairman that's hell-bent on driving income, business, negotiations, marketing, sales, business, right? But then neglects the footballing side or just doesn't get that. We then bring Vinay, who apparently has got some football expertise, but it's got worse. So clearly, some people say he wasn't even supposed to be the CEO. He got kind of shoved into it when Levy got pushed.
Yeah.
So is he even fit for the role? We still haven't, as a club yet, separated football operations and business operations and found the balance. We still haven't done that. I think that is at the core of the problem at Tottenham. ENIC do not know how to separate business and football. Yes, there's synergies and yes, there's overlay. Of course there is. But we still don't have football people just running football, being in charge of football, let them get on with it. And the business people doing the business stuff. We seem to just, Belcher's a property developer telling the football people who to have as manager. You've got the Lewis kids who know nothing about football. They just support Tottenham. Vinay's got marketing and business expertise, but football, Lange is meant to be a football guy, but he's shit at it. Yeah, we still haven't done that until Tottenham do that. Until Tottenham do that, but ENIC have proven they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do that.
Lubo, are we jumping? I'm not sitting here trying to defend anyone here. I'm just going to throw the question out there. Right, if you do want to rebuild a business, if they did do their analysis and they did say, as I said in the statement, it's clear we need to go in. We've got the full factory reset button, right? Classic word that they use to make everyone think that there's a big change coming. Those things do take time to filter through. When Apple lost Steve and the other guy came over, the company, it takes time, right? You lose a big part, like a big anchor, a big figure, a big face. And if you're going to go through a full factory reset, even though none of us are impressed with what we've seen of it so far, are we calling it a little bit too soon?
The reset could take 2 or 3 years before everything's in place and everything's working well. But Stell's right. I'll go back to Levy because he brought in some excellent people like Paul Barber, who's now running things at Brighton, who's the sort of person that we could do with having back at the club. Michael Edwards, who did a great job at Spurs, who's now at Liverpool. And unfortunately, Levy, because of his micromanagement, he managed to lose them. Now, what he's gone now.
Levy hired top managers as well, by the way.
No, he did. He
just didn't back them. The club didn't back them.
Correct. It's been. Listen, the one thing you'll give him is that he has picked up good people along the way, and managed to balls up every single one because he micromanaged. He just had to be involved in everything. You're right, Stel. What we need now is somebody like a Paul Barber to run the football side. Johnny's laughing, but someone like
No, I'm laughing. I'm only laughing because I know the absolute full story, because I know Paul Barber's mate exactly what happened with Daniel and him.
I know. I've heard it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, but this is like there's no sort of, I heard it through the grapevine. This is like it's bang on. Listen, Paul Barber.
Are you going to tell us the
Spurs
story,
fan.
Johnny? Because I feel like you're teasing us there. I know what happened.
Basically, what happened was that Paul Barber wasn't happy with the way things are going at Spurs with Daniel, what have you, and he left. He got offered the job by Tony Bloom. Anyway, went to Brighton, and when he got to Brighton, Daniel realised that he'd made a mistake letting Tony go. So he rang up Tony and he said, "Look, I want you to come back." He said, "Well, make me an offer." So Daniel made him an offer, and Tony he didn't go back to him. And Daniel rang him up and said, like, "What's going on? Like, I haven't heard from you." He said, "I made you an offer." He said, like, "Why didn't you accept it?" He says, "Because the offer you gave me is less than what I'm earning at Brighton." And Daniel's reply was, "But Spurs are a bigger club." And
so Paul Barber wasn't impressed by Free Skywalk.
He was not impressed with the offer that he was given. And let me tell you something: Tony Bloom's clubs are so fantastically run.
Yeah.
Look at Union. Look what they've done at Union in Belgium, right? Look what he's done with Hearts at double quick time. They have a succession plan for everybody. No one leaves. Player, even Paul Barber himself, if he was to go, there is a succession plan for who would take over Paul Barber. If something was to happen to Tony Bloom, so on and so on and so forth. Every single person. That's why you notice when someone leaves Brighton, whether it's a player for 100 million, a manager like Graham Potter, they have already identified the targets. They don't wait like Spurs when something happens and then spend
they've got their succession plan.
Weeks.
100%.
Weeks. I'll try to work
What's interesting is about that story, though, Johnny. Like that is something that kind of grinds my gears, because directors of football are, for me, the second most important individual at a football club outside of the playing squad after the manager. Like, more important than CEO, more important than chairman, more important than the tech writers. They're so important for being able to organise their own scouts, to be able to find the talent, to be able to know when to let go. Like the ability to know when to sell is as important as to know when to buy.
He's bigger than a DOF. So just for clarity here, he's not really a sort of a DOF.
He's the head of football, right? He's like the head of the football.
He's the head of football. But
my point is that the salaries that those guys get paid, relatively speaking, are a pittance compared to what managers get paid, and yet you could make the argument that their value is almost as important if you have a
not greater. If not greater, if you can find a talent. Because
you need to find someone. You need to find someone that balances, that has to have a good relationship with the managers, because the managers always want what's good for them now, and the DOFs or the head of football or whatever are tasked with sort of longer term visions. So they need to keep one eye on the future, but they need to keep everybody happy. So it's a sort of yin and yang, a balance thing. And if we're talking about managers getting paid £10 million a year, and we're talking about DOFs getting paid £1 million a year, and then you hear that Daniel Levy turns around and basically undercut the offer. That's really sickening, because it's like you're scrimping out on what is already a relatively inexpensive element of the comparatively inexpensive element of a really important cog in the footballing machine. So I think you should go out and find whoever. How much do you reckon Louis Campos gets paid at PSG? Is he still there? I don't know. Not be sure if he's still there. How much was Monchi getting paid at Villa? Those probably nowhere near as much as Unai Emery. And yet
something happened with Monchi. I'm not quite sure what, but something that was supposed to happen didn't happen. Yeah. So not sure what happened there.
I don't think it's an area where you should scrimp and save. I think it's an area where you shouldn't be frugal. You should be
100%.
Flash the cash a bit more.
Should you be taking a guy that's been demoted by a club that's underneath you at the time to the under-21s? I know. Let's hire him. I'm sorry. What's your credentials? Oh, well, I was at Aston Villa and they weren't happy with the job I did, so they demoted me to the under-21s. Perfect, you'll do. Right? Who else did they interview? Who else did they go after? Or was he the convenient drop off that happened to be free?
He was probably cheap. Johnny.
Louis Campos, the best DOF, the best footballing guy in the game, gets paid £6 million a year. And he's the very best.
There you go.
That's less money than what Ange Postecoglou would get.
What are you thinking, Sean? Are you thinking that maybe you should put yourself up there? You couldn't do a worse job than Johan.
What about me? I'm talking Tottenham. If you want to go, if you want to take the footballing side seriously,
mate, I'm going for the LinkedIn advert. What's your thing? Well, I do Football Inc. I go to games home and away.
I don't know, Johnny. They probably watch this show and they see your bottom of the predictions league.
But that's purely because I'm naive enough to think that Spurs could possibly win a game. My face is so red from the sun yesterday. Oh my god!
Turn a nice healthy brown. Speaking of the predictions league, I think we might need some help from the chat. We've got an issue. So after 38 games, Stel, do you have the lineup there, mate? Do you have the table?
Yeah, sorry, no, I was just thinking. I'll bring it up. We should look at trying to bring Thiago Pinto into the club. He oversees the operations at Bournemouth. They seem to always deal with players coming in and out of that club.
Unbelievable job. Good call, Stel. Great call.
We could get him. You know, we've got enough clout.
Yeah,
put him
pay
in.
the money.
Yeah, and he actually runs the entire football ops there.
And look what they have done. They sold us Dom Solanke. They sold Semenya and never lost another game. Right? They sold Hoyson. They sold Zabani. They sold Kirk.
They lost their entire defence, and they've just finished 6th in European football.
Exactly. Identifying top talent before it becomes a 50, 60, 70 million pound player.
The problem is, if you get someone like a Thiago Pinto at Spurs, right, is he going to be allowed to do his job? Is he going to be allowed to just operate like he was at Bournemouth? Are we? If we source the right caliber of staff, are they going to be allowed to operate the way they did at the previous clubs, or is it going to change when they come to Tottenham? Because that's another issue we have at the club, where it feels like key roles sometimes they're tied. Well, not sometimes, always. There's one arm tied behind their backs when they're trying to do the job.
Yeah,
it's another good call.
Sebastian Schuppan.
Yeah, German though, I don't know, because it's like a different world out in Germany. For like the players, like these, I mean, the guy Sebastian Kehl, don't really rate him, not just because he's a madman that caused lots of trouble, but like their whole raison d'etre out there is to bring in young players to be able to build them up and then sell them on, and they sell them into the Premier League. It's different. It's a different thing doing that from the Premier League as a state.
The Germans are invading again. The Germans are on their way.
Mate, Thiago Pinto, he knows the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I don't hate the Pinto. I think that's a good shout, to be honest. I think that's a very good shout. You're not going to get anyone out of Brighton. I don't want anyone from Brentford after the last debacle. Let's move on. We're at the 90-minute mark as a super chat here. Let me get the super chilly chit chat done. Oh, that's the super chat we got from Blaine. Sorry, we'll do this one in a minute. I do need some help though, guys, because the predictions has finished and it is unfortunately a stalemate. Didn't Lubo? What did you go for, Lubo, on the weekend?
1-1.
You have 1-1 as well. Okay, so Sean and Stelios are level.
Hang on, how did I not get a point when I had Spurs to win? Didn't I, or draw?
You predicted 2-2. Sean and Lubo said 1-1, and I said 2-0 Everton. We all got it wrong.
So unfortunately,
nobody predicted a Spurs win. No one thought.
So unfortunately, Sean and Stel.
What do you mean unfortunate? Unfortunate? What a comeback!
It's unfortunate because there is no clear winner. There's no clear winner. Okay, on the countback, the goal difference, the games won, the games lost, all that stuff. According to Stel's countback, I don't know if I trust it, but I think it's close. Basically, there's no difference between Stel and Sean at all. So we don't know how to dedicate a single winner. Now, I believe that I deserve it because of time spent at the top. But Stel's not having that. So I don't know.
By the way, can I just add how good all of us are at predicting football matches? Out of a possible 456 points, we managed to amass 69 between us.
Lubo, can I just say, right? Sean and I at the top of the table on 20 points.
Yeah,
we achieved more points than Spurs did at home in 2 seasons. I'm just
shocking.
I don't know about last season. Did we not get? No, we got 21 points, I think, last season, and this season we've got 15. If my 21 and 15.
At home. We've got 3 games at home this year.
We have got 36 points out of 114 at home in the last 2 seasons.
Sorry, no, I meant from wins. Sorry, from Spurs wins. Sorry.
Oh, from Spurs wins. What do we want? Listen, we've won 9 home games in the last 2 seasons. 27 points.
No, we haven't. We won 4 last year, 3 this year. That's 7.
6 last year, I think.
Ange won 4 home games last year.
I thought it was 6. No. We won
Mate,
6.
I heard Johnny was telling me every single week
Is that
at the start
right?
of the year. I couldn't forget it.
Was it only 4?
Yeah, I think it was 4.
Listen, look, all I would know is like
We've won 7 games at home in 2 years.
If you take away the sticking plaster that was stuck over the San Andreas fault when we won the cup, the Europa League, this has been a disaster. Let's make no bones about it. Let's not dress it up for anything else than what it is. 39 defeats in the league in 2 seasons is probably the equivalent of what Arsenal have lost in the last 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years. I mean, right? It's to say that comment that from Charrington, they've just woken up and realised and smelt the coffee. Come on, right? We've heard it all before. This has been going on for way too long. The only way you're going to shut this fan base up is if we wake up in the morning one day and we've got a what the fuck moment when we hear that we're signing someone, this club we never thought this club would sign. I haven't got excited about any signings at this club since Rafa van der Vaart. That's the truth. Yeah. Can you name one? Who was the last signing you got?
Xavi Simons.
Oh my God.
I was excited about Xavi Simons.
I was Lubo, you're right. I wasn't wowed, but there's a couple of players that I thought, you know what, that's not bad. When we signed Mohamed Kudus, I thought, yeah. When we signed Paulinho, I was really happy with that.
No, but a wow. I mean, like a
we haven't had wows. Even Maddison. When we signed Maddison, I thought that's I'm quite happy with that. You know, we've signed good players, just not wow. You're right, we haven't.
The last time for me was when it was announced that Bale was coming back on loan in 2019.
Yeah, when Bale came back.
Yeah, that's probably it. But for me, you know, first one, Van der Vaart, when I read that Van der Vaart was coming, I was like, oh my God. You know, I remember when Gaza signed, everyone was going mental when Gaza signed. When we signed Chrissy Waddle, I was excited about him. You know, Klinsmann. Yeah. I mean, you know, and if you want to go back to our dealers in Villa, you know, when everyone went down to White Hart Lane as a kid and I had to tear up little bits of newspaper, put it in a plastic bag, and the ticker tape welcome them to White Hart Lane was special. But I just haven't got that buzz. Huh?
We lost that 4-1.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Van der Vaart was wow, but the 2 players where I actually couldn't believe we signed them was Klinsmann and Edgar Davids. Those 2 players, when we signed them, I just couldn't believe it. I was like,
Edgar Davids was at Specsavers.
Seeing Edgar Davids in a Tottenham shirt, in that cool Kappa shirt with the blue things, is absolutely awesome.
Absolutely glaucoma. We only signed him though after he caught glaucoma.
Yeah.
And he couldn't see where.
I was there for his 1 goal at Wigan.
Can I ask you guys a question about what De Zerbi said post match? When he said that, he contradicted. Do you see? He called me out in the press conference. He said, "Where's that guy? The negative one." He's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" I was like, relax, Roberto. Right? He contradicted himself because he said, "We don't need many players," and then straight after that, he said, "I want to keep about 10, 11. Well, hold on a minute. If you don't need many players, but you only want to keep 10, how's that going to work, right? If you only want to keep 10, that means you need about 8 or 9 players. What did you make of it? Or was it lost in translation in what he was trying to say because of the accent?
I think it's lost in translation, but I think we can all agree. My missus was doing that last night, right? She said to me, right, I'm going to go through the squad. I said, sorry, what is this? I'm not on the Spurs Five. Are you doing hosting the 5? She goes, I'm going to go through. I want you to tell me sell, loan or buy. I said, are you joking? Anyway, I went through them and off the top of my head, it was 7. that we needed to sell. 7.
See,
How many are you thinking?
Can I ask you, Johnny, though, when you say 7, right. So when we talk about keeping and selling players, are we talking about keeping and selling players for next season or for where we want to be in 4 or 5 years' time?
No. I'm talking about immediate ejection. Immediate.
Because I would only keep 8 players then. There's only 8 players I'd keep.
I know, but you can't look
That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, no, realistically, so if we go through them right, Tell for me out on loan unless we buy someone, right? We sell Richarlison, we sell get rid of Mawani, we sell Basuma.
Richarlison's a player that Richarlison was one of the players that De Zerbi praised in his press conference.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Richie likes it here, but I'm talking about if we want, I'd get rid of Solanke, I'd get rid of Richarlison, I'd get rid of Tell on loan, I'd get rid of Mawani, I'd get rid of Basuma. Who else would I get rid of? Romero.
I'd get rid of Pape Sarr. I'd get rid of. I'd send Archie Gray on loan. Paulinia's gone, by the way. Paulinia, he could be gone, so there's no choice there.
You do the pigeon.
Do you know the De Zerbi one actually looks really good? The De Zerbi one.
That was great.
Because he looks like De Zerbi. Sean sort of looks a bit like De Zerbi as it was, but.
Hey, it's me! Armato! We stand same about the West Ham. Let's not say it up. What are we doing here? This club, this squad is no good. It's no good. We need 12. It's only 12 players. Only 12 players that I like. If I don't get a new squad, a first team ready squad, I will go about crazy. Absolutely crazy. Vaffanculo. What is this? And no more Archie Gray. I don't know how he won the player of the year. Lubo, did you vote 2,000 times? How did you hijack the vote? How did you hijack the vote on Archie Gray?
I could say Porca Madonna Vaffanculo. or Piccolo Casa, I could say.
Lubo, do you know what? That is the worst.
Piccolo Casa, for those who know Italian.
I need to call you up on that, right? That is the worst. If you're gonna use Italian words, at least try and use the accent.
Vaffanculo from Essex.
Our Italian correspondent used to say that. Vaffanculo.
So Vaffanculo sounds like a player we're going to sign in the summer.
My way.
Yeah, I would get shot of Vicario, Dragusin, Basuma, Richie, Romero, Solanke, Sarr, Davis, Mawani. Looks like Palini's going, and send 10 on loan. There's 10, 11 possibly.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Listen, I mean, João Palhinha, losing him, absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't really know what's going on there. He's been absolutely fantastic for Tottenham Hotspur. To lose João Palhinha, the leaders, they're talking about getting balanced. They're talking about trying to get a nice mix of youth and some leadership and some captain, some spirits. I mean, for me, you could have come with me. They ended up going with Roberto De Zerbi, and he's absolutely terrific. He kept them up, but if you'd chosen me, Daniel, if you'd chosen me, we could have got the band back together, Crouchy. We get Jermaine in. We get all the boys, the jam roly-polies from me and Sergio would have kept them up. But losing João Palhinha, I mean, absolutely catastrophic, to be entirely fair. Good to see everybody, though. Great to see everyone.
Yeah, the
Everybody's
jam
great.
roly polies. What about the jam roly polies? Do you think that could change? You know, if they put Sandra's jam roly polies on the dinner menu, do you think that could turn Spurs season around next season? What do you
Listen,
reckon?
yeah, all you need. Sometimes you don't. You need to put an arm around someone, have a slice of jam roly poly, Johnny, and everything feels a little bit better. You know, relegation fears, injury problems. Don't worry about it. Everything feels a little bit better with a cup of tea and a jam roly poly. But they went in a different direction. That's all they did, and that's fine. Absolutely terrific to them. I'm off to Cheltenham. I'll see you next year, guys. See you later. Take care.
Tell me, Harry, your big team went down yesterday. You got relegated.
Yes,
How'd you feel about that?
sad days, you know, sad. I was torn. I was actually torn, Lubo. You know, I got a lot of time for West Ham, but Tottenham as well, part of my heart, part of my career, you know. So it was not a good day for me, but listen, glad the better team stayed up. But West Ham will be back. West Ham will be back next year. Absolutely fantastic. But for now, you know, those bloody owners, they have to go as well. Tottenham fans talk about their owners being a problem. West Ham's owners, I mean, one of them's in trouble, a lot of trouble. We can't really talk about it until the injunction's lifted. But, you know, absolutely not fantastic what's happening down West Ham. Not fantastic at all. I might get in trouble. I have to take him off. Allegedly.
Can you do a Danny Dyer? He must be gutted. Hey, you need to do a Danny Dyer. It's Destiny spot on. You got to do a Danny Dyer before the show ends.
Well, a bit of you're right, Treacle.
I haven't got his voice.
Well, you don't need.
What else are you going to do on a Saturday night? Have a pot noodle and wank off to Pop Idol? No, Tottenham away.
Danny Dyer was like Tottenham away. Fucking love it.
Fucking love it. Yeah,
anyway, let's get back to that super chat. So Lubo, you said the players that you want out are who?
Vicario, Dragusin, Basuma, Richie, Romero, Solanke, Sarr, Telfer, Lone, Davis, and Mwani.
Bloody hell, that was quick. That was very
I'd
quick.
get rid of Pape Sarr as well.
I mentioned Sarr. What'd you get? Listen, if you get maybe 20 million euros for Vic, maybe you get 15 million euros for Dragusin. Basuma's gone. Richie, you're going to get maybe 20 million quid, I suppose. Romero, 45. Solanke, maybe 30.
Are we going to need?
Sarr, maybe 20. So already you got probably 35, 55. You got about 140 million pounds there. The owner's 60 million in. You got 200 million there to spend on 4 or 5 players that I think, in answer to Terry's super chat, I think there'll be 8 out, maybe 4 or 5 coming in. Plus he'll want to look at the loanees coming back, and you might keep 1 or 2 there as well. So
we should go and get Somerville from West Ham. Now they've been relegated, we should go and try and buy that Somerville.
There's no.
Agreed. When I suggested that last time, they were saying that's typical, mate. What a shit suggestion. You look at what he's doing now.
What about Matías Fernandes? He's probably the best at West Ham, isn't he?
He's not. He's going to He's going to Man United. He ain't coming here.
Would you take Jared Bowen, or do you think he's a bit off the ball this year?
Well, someone on Football Inc. suggested, how about a reunion with Hull for a season? As their
Jared
captain.
Bowen. They've gone back up, haven't they? Yeah, they've been promoted.
Return to Hull as captain. So thought.
Not sure his missus would like that. She's very happily settled in Essex.
Yeah, I know, but
isn't it?
I mean, who knows? Who knows? That's not for me to worry about.
No.
What about me, guys? What's going to happen to me?
I think you're gone, mate. I think you're gone. At least you turned up the other day. Turned up yesterday.
Turns out he wasn't supposed to be back. Turns out he wasn't due back. He was going, and then
who is that?
Romero.
Hey, it's me. I've got the same default accent for everyone I can't do. Hey,
you look like one of those Sky Sports journalists.
Yeah,
sits on the Sunday supplement.
Maybe not. She looks sweaty. Is Romero going to leave then? And where's he going to go to? And how much are we going to get for him?
Has everyone apologised for the misleading information that was spread about him?
There was nothing misleading spread about him. There was nothing misleading spread about him.
He was interviewed by a reporter, and he said, the media lied, and he was never going to be anywhere but at Spurs. And
that's convenient. But Matt Law came out and said that wasn't the case. So who are we believing?
We don't believe anything Matt Law says. Sorry.
We don't believe anything that's.
Sorry.
Who is going to lead? Who is going to?
Well, you've just answered your question.
But who's going to fly to Argentina? I believe in my own ability to create and construct logic. Who is going to fly to Argentina for 48 hours to walk around the training ground and fly back again? The only reason he came back was because he was told to, because of optics, and the optics should have been spelt out beforehand.
He said he's always coming back. I mean, I just think people were angry after that Chelsea game, and they needed someone to vent. They needed a punching bag. So the PGML got it. By the way, can I say Bentancur giving away a penalty? PGML did nothing about that one. For me, that was a penalty. It pushed the guy to the ground.
When?
Against Everton.
Sorry, what about the tackle on Mickey van der Ven?
Yeah.
That should have been a red card. Yeah.
And he gave him the free kick as well.
He
didn't
gave them the free kick.
That should have been.
I don't think you can change that around. If they come to the conclusion that it's a red card, then obviously you can change the entire decision. If they come to the conclusion that it's not a red card, then they can't change the initial decision.
But Sean, why do we always find these decisions out, these rules, these deep rules when they affect Spurs?
No,
like the goal against
Chelsea. There's only certain things that VAR can get involved in. Like they can't get in if no card was given, for example, for a tackle, and then the VAR thinks that it's a yellow card, but it's not a red card. They can't give a yellow card. The referee is either whatever the referee gave. They can only upgrade a yellow card to a red card. I believe they can't tell the ref, oh no, you've missed out on a yellow card there. I don't think they're allowed to do that. And so similarly, unless that was a red card yesterday, then I don't think the referee can be told, oh, you should have given a free kick the other way.
No, he can't. He can't. Listen, I thought Oliver had a pretty good game.
Apart from that, I thought he wasn't too bad. I called him an effing C on the watch long when he gave Pape Sarr a yellow card for diving until I saw it back, and it was the worst dive I've ever seen. Pape Sarr needs absolutely horrendous.
Do you know what's stupid about that, Sean? Was that he only had one player to beat, and then he was through on goal, literally with a free shot 6 yards out, and he decided to try. It was like
Tom Daly would have been proud of that. It was so bad,
ridiculous,
it was absolutely embarrassing.
Just nonsense. He got to deserve the yellow card. I wish players would be shamed, with yellow card for simulation.
I think they should get a yellow card on the day. I think they should get a 1-game suspension after the fact for that, because that, like, I'm not just saying that.
Be cut out.
It must be, so
players that run into other players and go down. It's just horrendous.
Yeah.
I sympathise with referees with all the cheating that goes on. It can't be easy, and VAR are bloody hopeless anyway. They don't help them anyway. So yes, cut out the cheating definitely, and suspend players. And if they get done a second time, give them a 2-match ban and a 3-match ban and a 4-match ban if it carries on.
I hear you. Did everyone get their answers to this? I don't. Lubo did asked Lubo a couple of times. For me, I think the players that need to go. I think Romero needs to go. Mickey van der Ven, when I saw his reaction yesterday, I was like, maybe I got it wrong, because I've been quite harsh on Mickey van der Ven, but he looked genuinely emotional when we stayed up, and if he's falling in love with De Zerbi, I don't know, but I'm not sure. But if he wants to go, if he's not buying in, then he can disappear. I'm a little bit torn on Destiny Doggy, but now that the Robertson thing looks like it's up in the air, not sure anymore. I think Robertson was going to bring in leadership and that's sort of that experience that we were talking about. I'm really upset that João Palhinha looks like he's going. If that's the case, I'm really, really upset about that. Pedro Porro. If you're gonna bring Pedro Porro in, then if you're going to keep Pedro Porro, rather, you have to make allowances for that with our defensive setting, because he'll get caught out. And if you're going to play Vuskovic as right-sided centre-back, who isn't the fastest, then I don't really know how you cater for a fullback who's constantly targeted and a centre-back next to him who's a monster in the air but not exactly blessed with pace. That's a problem. I personally think that Archie Gray and or Bergwall, one of those two, can be sold or loaned out. I don't think we need both kids in the team next year. Pape Sarr, for me, can go 100%. Richarlison can go. I think that Mwani's obviously going to go back. I don't care if Solanke stays or Solanke goes, but I don't think you can realistically replace 2 strikers in the same summer. That's very difficult, especially with the World Cup. That's a very hard position to fill anyway. We were talking about it earlier, Johnny. Would anyone take Ivan Toney?
As I said to you before, 100%. Is he a dickhead? Yes. But I'll tell you what he is. He's a goal machine. He's a fantastic in the air. He's got unbelievable strength, fantastic at holding up the ball. Should we ever get a penalty, he's very good at them. And he's better than both the strikers we've currently got. I think that's pretty apparent. And 34 goals in 30. I know it's in Deli Ali in Saudi, but you can only score who you're up against. I 100%. Listen, I said I would have taken him before he went to Saudi, but even though he's a dickhead, I think under De Zerbi he'd thrive personally.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah, other links right now to Pavlidis, who's out in Spain, or Portugal. Who's very. I don't know if he's another player that I don't know if he'll transfer and transition to the Premier League.
We know, Sean. We know that Ivan Toney can handle the Premier League. He's built for it. He understands it. He knows it. Right? Ticks.
Yeah, it's just the financial burden on him on that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it comes down to what is your ambition. Yeah. Are you going to talk about having aspirations of winning, but have a loser's mentality? Yeah, he's very good, but he's expensive. Well, then you're not a winner. You're not prepared. He's the right player. He ticks the boxes. Pay the money. Because what will happen is that will bring in goals, that will bring in wins, that will bring in sponsors. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You go down the other route, and this is the route we've gone down time and time again, year after year after year. Yeah, we'd like to go for him, but instead of Gabriel Jesus, we'll go for this one. Instead of that one, we'll go for this one. I'm not going to bore you with all the players that that we've been offered, but the ones we've gone for instead of because of the cost. So it's got to change. And all that waffle that you read out before, Sean, which was talking. I was out a couple of weeks ago where someone spoke like that. They were going on for about 20 minutes. And I turned around and I said, do you know anything he actually said that had any fucking substance? It was like a business meeting. It was like nothing. It was 20 minutes of nothing. And that's exactly what that was. We're not interested in your statements. All will be seen for us with our own eyes. When you go in there, you bring in top people, you bring in top signings, then you don't need to say anything. You let your action, it speaks louder than 1,000 words. And that's all we want to see as fans.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. Stel, I'll give you last take on it, mate. Players you want in, players you want out. Any names off the top of your head?
Out. Vicario. I don't want Romero to go. I don't want him to go. But I think he needs to go because he just doesn't have the support of enough fans. So I think he needs to go. Dragusin out. I'd get rid of Adogi. I'd keep Spence, keep Porro. Basuma goes, Sarr goes, Archie Gray on loan. Bergvall, I think he's been poorly coached. I still think there's a good player in Bergvall. I just think he's been miscoached. So I'd keep him.
Well, if someone was to come in and offer 50, 60 million quid for him because they think he's the next big thing, you'd sell him.
Yeah. Madison, I'd probably move him on. He's just too injury prone. We're going to get a third of a season out of him. As much as I like him, he loves Tottenham. He's a top player. He's never available. This is if we're going to get serious.
Yeah.
I'd keep Bentancur. I'd move on Kulu. I think he's never going to come back from that injury, the same player. I'd keep Madders. I'd keep not Madders. Mohamed Kudus. Get rid of all the front line. Odebert, Tel, Solanke, Ritchie. Honestly, there's only about 6, 7, 8 players I'd keep. I wouldn't. If you're forced to keep some players because you can't get rid of that many in one go, then so be it. But there's only 7 or 8 players I'd keep in this squad. I don't think De Zerbi's a top coach, but he's not a miracle maker. He's not going to. Players I'd like players like Mitoma, Wharton, established Premier League players that have got something about them that are better than what we've currently got. I'd love Anderson from Nottingham Forest. Think
You
he's
say
a top
Alex
player?
Scott from Bournemouth?
Yes, all day long.
I think Alex Scott is
Scott.
imminently gettable. I think because of the World Cup, you look at a team like Bournemouth, right? Bournemouth like to get their business done early in the summer, so they've got time to find replacements. For me, I think if you can get Robertson in, if that's what they're going to go with, and if you bring in Senesi, and you get Bournemouth, you get someone like Alex Scott in from Bournemouth, who's versatile, can play as an 8, can play as a 10, can play on the right a little bit as well. For me, that's 3 really important positions and three, I think, solid improvements. I would have loved to have seen Polini be signed as well. Get those 4 done. Bring in maybe Anatoly True. I don't mind him to compete with Kinski in the number 1 spot. Trubin from Benfica. And then obviously that's five bits of business done. Basuma's leaving the club immediately. Vicario's leaving the club in all likelihood very soon. Romero, I would imagine, will probably go before the World Cup as well. Then you've got like eight transitions done, and you're before the World Cup, and then like that's to me would be the perfect way to get us going before everyone disappears.
Alex Scott has changed quite a lot. I mean, when I was watching him, as a big fan of him, you know, he was very much a 10. But after the really bad injury he had, he sort of reinvented himself as more of a sort of an 8. Because I saw some people there saying, you know, we get him in instead of Paulinho. They're not the same player, in my opinion. No, nothing like them. So that one's a miss. But he's adapted his game, Alex Scott, very much so. Whether Iriola is by design or by the fact that he adapted because of that really bad injury he had. As much as I like him, I would worry that as soon as he got to us, that injury would reoccur.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah.
Do you know if Paulinho does leave and we lose that number 6, I'd like to see us bring in. Listen, if he goes, he goes. There's nothing we can do. But
Locatelli.
I'll tell you who I'd love us to bring in. I want a proper, intelligent, technical player, someone that can boss it. Right. I don't know if we can get him, but I think we should just go for it. If we're gonna make one big summer signing and just put our eggs into that basket, I would love us to sign someone, Angelo Stiller.
Oh, and Stiller's class, yeah.
Everyone's after him though. Still,
that's the thing. He's going to be in demand, but that is the caliber of player.
Unless
you're
talking
technical magician, I want playing in various positions under a De Zerbi team. That's the level of type of player we need.
Stiller is the top. Yeah.
Would you go back to Wolves and get João Gomez, by the way? He's getting relegated.
Again,
I'd take João Gomez all day long.
Man United are looking at him. Look, Stiller's there.
Man United looking at everyone. We like.
Well, they are.
You would take Gomez. You would.
Cool.
You know what?
Stiller, if we go for Stiller, I mean, the thing about Stiller, the only Stiller we've got a chance of getting is Ben Stiller, mate. That's the truth.
Might as well.
It'd be brilliant to get Sandro Tonali.
We have someone in the dressing room that can crack some fucking jokes.
It's like the technical caliber of play we need. That's what I mean. Like even up front, when people talk about strikers, you look at the technical ability of Alvarez at Atletico.
Sure,
he's quality, man. It's on the ball. They make things happen because they keep control of the ball and their brain knows what to do and it can do it because they've got the technique to execute what the intelligence is telling them. Yeah. No, we're not going to get these players. I'm living in fantasy land now, but
I didn't realize Gomez is going to Atletico Madrid.
When our scouts go to Asia or India or Canada or wherever they go, that's the kind of caliber they should be looking for. That's the technical player. The same way we found Eriksen, that's what we need to be scouting. Like the Eriksens, just technically gifted.
Do you know what? Atletico Madrid have got an unbelievable track record of just buying up so many valuable, talented players over the in every year. Every year because I guess it's just like I want to go and play in Spain. I'm not quite good enough for Real Madrid, but I'm a very good player. Atleti will just sort of gobble it up. Guys, listen, we'll talk about that in the next few days or weeks, whatever. Let's get the last couple of super chats done, and then we'll round off. Matty Cox, big up to you. Is it Matty? Oh, sorry, Matt C from Canada. Sorry, not Matt Cox. Says Stellegation lasted as long as me with a Latina 10.
Very
3
good.
months. Not bad though. Not bad, mate. I wish I had your stamina. Jesus Christ. But yes, delegation is done for now. It will be back.
Canada.
That's Canada, Canadian dollars. Yeah.
Canada. Yeah.
Big up to you. Big up to you. And the last super chat here is from A-User 4872. Big up to you, A-User. It says, what's happening with the Spurs 5? Is it the Spurs 3 or is it done? Well, yeah, look. Super chat
to be discussed at a later date.
Oh, yeah, but tonight is my last appearance on the show. And I think Thursday is the last official appearance of the Spurs 5, the Spurs 4. I won't be there, I don't think, unless something changes in my schedule. But I've got plans. But after that, then there's no further planned shows as a 4-ball. Hopefully there'll be more to come though from the channel, and we'll support it in everywhere we can. Any final? I just want to quickly take the chance to say a massive thank you once again to you guys. We had a great time doing it with you, and to all the guys in the chat that have been here the whole year with us. It's been a lot of fun. Really appreciated the shits and giggles, the fun, the banter, the arguments, the cooking, and the flip floppery. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
there'll still be a channel there. I
just want to say thank you to Sean as well for being a great host, and also just for allowing us to expose him this year. Which...
Very good.
I'll stop there.
There we go.
Yeah, you can expose yourself in your cell, being held by Turkish separatists. You're all right in there.
Do you think that
he's always saying Turkish?
Turkish, Cypriot, Egyptian, Bin Laden's. I think I have the most talked about setup on YouTube. You know that? It's literally a couch with a brick wall. And
I don't know how. I've got no idea how when you do get Wi-Fi put in. Like someone's going to have to bring in like a giant pneumatic drill to be able to lay that cable in through that brick wall. It's like 12 feet deep.
I'll have one of those old school antennas, those army antennas next to me. Those old.
If things pop off in Iran and someone pushes the big red button, you'll be safe, mate. You and the cockroaches will be absolutely safe in there.
Cockroaches. Listen to these cockroaches.
No, because cockroaches can survive a nuclear holocaust, right? They can survive that stuff. But
there you go.
Only the cockroaches and Stell's bunker. That's it. Everyone else is toast.
Actually, guys, just to let you know that is just the wall. There is nothing to the left and to the right. It's just a wall. It's got no sides. It's got no. It's just that big.
Yeah, in front of me, there's a field of goats.
Yeah.
And I had to be. Listen, I've got to tell you something. I had to sign up
an electrified fence to stop him getting in.
Johnny, when I was over there, I had to sign up to be a delegation cult member to be allowed out.
Yeah.
My wife was looking at a watch. Where is it?
NDAs.
Okay, I'll sign it. I'll sign it.
Mate, there was a clipboard at the front desk. He had to sign his name, the time he entered, everything.
Absolutely.
Someone's called you the Count of Monte Cristo. Oh, the Count of Monte Cristo. Sorry.
Yeah. Cheers, Johnny. Yeah, cheers.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Hang on. What's this?
Did I ever explain why I'm leaving the channel? Did I ever tell anyone?
I've got to say, Sean, I've got to say thanks for all your hosting. It's been
thanks, Shawnee.
I felt, you know what?
It's been great.
You know what? When you start, you try and achieve certain aims, and the only aim that I've not achieved while I've been on the Spurs 5 is taking Sean out of fancy land regarding Daniel leaving. But one day we'll get there. One day we will get there.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Right. That's it. The wolf of the Spurs 5. You're right.
There you go. All right, guys. Listen, for me, it's been a pleasure. Thanks everyone for all your support and everything, and keep supporting the boys here. Obviously, Stell, Lubo, and Johnny will be back on Thursday. There's an outside chance if my plans change, I'll be here, but don't expect me. So I'm me signing out. But massive thank you to everyone for the super chimney chit chats. The super chats been done. They've all been done. We will still at an S&M camp locked up. Very good. Very good. All right, guys, that's it from us.
I have to take the apple out of my mouth during the show, and then once it's back on, they put the apple back in my mouth.
Is that what they call it? An apple?
I got to tell you, he has been drinking a nice bottle of Chianti into fava beans. So don't worry.
Mate,
Okay, guys. Shawnee, adios, amigos. Until the next time on the
Pound
show
my
that
couch,
can't be
that's
named.
it.
Football Link, Football Link, Football Link, Football Link.
Football link. Just quickly for one last time, because it's been so fun doing this every single week to all of you in your own little moments. But just one last time.
Look what just happened. My man was totally cooked. His waffle, simply awful. You've been stinker and hooked.
Can I
that.
play one as well? Can I play one just before you leave?
Yeah, go on then. Go on then.
Woo, 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 woo.
No, no, no.
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 All right, guys.
Okay, guys. Adios,
subscribe,
amigos. Thanks for your support. See you Thursday. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye.